Fresh off the news that New York Attorney General Letitia James has now placed liens on Donald Trump's property in New York and is ready to seize that property if Donald Trump can't come up with a surety bond. Donald Trump is whining. He's posting more bizarre rants. He's saying it is impossible for him to come up with a surety bond. He says nobody can do it, which is absolutely false. He's then also making posts about how Truth Social is my voice. It is my voice. He's then holding these bizarre events at Mar-a-Lago as well, which I'll share for you as we learn more about how just devastating his fundraising numbers are. I mean, he's unable to raise money for his political action committees, his campaign itself. The RNC is suffering. Nikki Haley, you know how Donald Trump goes, Nikki Haley, referring to Nancy Pelosi. Nikki Haley has more cash on hand. She's not even in the race than the RNC does. Let's just take a look at some of Donald Trump's posts, and I got to show you some of this deranged and unhinged behavior at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump, and I'm not going to read all of this because it's really just a bunch of MAGA mush, but Donald Trump goes, and it's just whining. Even though I did nothing wrong, a radical left New York judge, a true Trump hater, Arthur and Goron, are we allowed to speak about his unconstitutional gag order? Picked a number out of thin air, $355 million plus interest, reminiscent of John Lovett's The Liar on SNL when it was good, and wants me to bond it, which is not possible for bonding companies to do for such a high amount before I can even appeal. This is crazy. He puts that in caps. This is crazy. If I sold assets and then won the appeal, the assets would be forever gone. Also, putting up money before an appeal is very expensive. When I win the appeal, all of the money is gone and I would have done nothing wrong. And it just goes on to whine even more. Look, we've talked about it here on the MeidasTouch Network. New York Attorney General Letitia James has demonstrated that there are many other people who are able to post this bond. This is not unique to Donald Trump. If you want to stay the enforcement of the judgment, you need to post a bond. That's just what the law is. That's the law for every litigant, including you, Donald Trump. And I thought Alina Habba, your lawyer or whatever she is, and you said how rich you are and you had all of this cash and this would be easy. I guess not. Then Donald Trump, because he cycles in and out of these emotions. So first he's like, it's not possible. This is crazy. Exclamation point. And then he posts, Truth Social is my voice and the real voice of America, MAGA 2024, all exclamation points. Then he goes back to, numerous business have ended plans to relocate to New York because of the fabricated witch hunt against me. And then he goes on, just out that crooked Joe Biden, the worst and most corrupt president in the history of the USA, is leading and leaking the weaponization of the government. And then another post, crooked Joe Biden is the worst president. I mean, there's literally 50 of these posts from one day. I'm not going to go through all of them. You get the point. So then he holds these events in Mar-a-Lago. And so this is a congressional fundraiser that I'm about to show you. This is what Kimberly Guilfoyle was wearing. And this is what is actually happening in Mar-a-Lago right now as they try to fundraise for money, in which they are failing, but apparently they think this is a strategy. Play this clip.
Greatest president this country has ever seen, Donald J. Trump. Yeah. And my friends here who stand with me tonight, who stand in honor and support of an incredible human being who has made the ultimate sacrifice to serve this country, a proud patriot of Arab American descent, who could be doing a lot of different things with his life, like Donald Trump, who has chosen to serve, to fight back, because each and every one of you are worth it, and he will serve you faithfully in the United States Congress. We are so lucky to have...
And before that, this is Donald Trump making his appearance, and the person you'll see walking towards him is somebody by the name of Siggy Flicker, and she's someone who hangs out around Donald. You see Alina Habba in the background. So you've got Trump surrounding himself with Habba, someone named Siggy Flicker, Kimberly Guilfoyle. Play this clip. And just so you see the outfit that Kimberly Guilfoyle was wearing earlier in the fundraiser, I had to literally censor it out right there because it was actually see-through. Like, it's actually see-through. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene was at the event as well. There she is right there. Here's Donald Trump from that event, and here he's talking about issues, no. Policies, no. What he's going to do, no. Why would he do that? That's not what Donald Trump does at events. Instead, he's talking about, he goes, MAGA is the greatest movement in the history ever of the entire world. That's what Donald Trump's saying. Here, play the clip.
People have no idea how big this movement is. We have the greatest, I will say this, MAGA, we just had some writers over, some big writers, and they're saying there's never been a movement in history, the history of this country, maybe history period, but the history of this country, like MAGA. Make America great again.
Okay, while all of that weirdness is going down here, even Fox had to announce that we're looking at 3 record-breaking closes for a second day in the row of the Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ. Let's play that clip.
In this last couple of seconds, here comes the closing bell. Folks, we are looking at 3 major average record closes, second day in a row for the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ.
Hey, Midas Mighty. So a little while ago, we had the idea that we wanted to sell the best pro-democracy merchandise in the game for the MeidasTouch network. And candidly, we had no idea where to even get started. That's why I'm so glad that we found Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million order stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. We use Shopify at store.meidastouch.com, and it has completely revolutionized our business. It allows us to easily manage our shop, view analytics, provide the best customer service, and streamline our entire online shopping experience from A to Z. We wouldn't be able to bring you all the products you know and love without Shopify, and we can't speak highly enough about it. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds and Rothy's and Brooklinen and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, like they were there for us here on the MeidasTouch network. Because businesses that grow with Shopify, and we can attest to that. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Meidas, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Meidas to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/Meidas. You like that? Or are you into this? Alina Habba at the event with someone named for Gatio Blow or something like that. And there she is with her Donald Trump gold necklace with his face on it and a weird MAGA ring. That's what's going on in that world. By the way, President Biden released a press release. This is a good one. Biden-Harris campaign's press release about Donald Trump. Not a winning campaign. Broke Don hides in his basement. Trump can't raise money, isn't campaigning, and is letting convicts and conspiracy theorists run his campaign. Here's what President Biden's press release says. Not a winning campaign. Broke Don hides in his basement. Trump can't raise money, isn't campaigning, and is letting convicts and conspiracy theorists run his campaign. We have questions for the political pundits and prognosticators regarding the Republican candidate for president, Donald Trump, and his general election strategy. 1. Lack of funding. Is not raising the funds needed to reach voters or even campaign a good strategy? Is trailing your opponent in cash on hand by nearly 4-1 and hitting up donors to help cover your own personal debts instead of funding your campaign a winning formula for November? And they cite some of these articles. Former President Donald Trump's campaign and joint fundraising committee together brought in $20.3 million in February and entered this month with a combined $41.9 million cash on hand, according to a Trump campaign official. But that amounts trail far behind the $53 million that President Joe Biden and Democrats previously announced raising in February, and the massive $155 million in available cash that Biden's team said it amassed with its affiliated committees. 2, not campaigning. Is not campaigning as your opponent relentlessly campaigns in battleground states and hiding in your basement a good way to assemble a winning coalition of voters? CNN, as Joe Biden has made trips to every battleground state but one since Super Tuesday primaries, Donald Trump held one rally in a battleground state in those 2.5 weeks and shifted another to Ohio in part to save costs. He has also played in 2 golf tournaments at his Palm Beach Golf Club, among other activities at his club. Yep, Donald Trump canceled a speech that he was supposed to give in Arizona because he ran out of money and he was too cheap. So he had to do a speech just in Ohio. Meanwhile, Trump was playing golf as well in Mar-a-Lago and awarding himself, or he's playing golf at his golf tournament rather, his own golf tournament at his own golf club, and he awarded himself the winner of the tournament, Kim Jong-un style. You see that right there. And at the same time, President Biden was in Arizona making important announcements about things like investing in semiconductors and actually doing things for the people. Here, play this clip of President Biden.
I'm thrilled to announce the latest public-private partnership and one of the largest investments in semiconductors in the United States ever. A new landmark agreement under the CHIPS and Science Act between my administration and Intel for up to $8.5 billion. It's a smart investment. And that's being paired with over $100 billion from Intel, including $30 billion in Arizona and $30 billion in Ohio. It's among the largest private sector investments ever in the history of Ohio and Arizona. And this historic funding will use to build new semiconductor fab facilities and modernize and expand existing ones in Arizona, Ohio, New Mexico, and Oregon. Combined, it will create nearly 20,000.
Finally, here's what President Biden's press release says. Bad messaging. Is it good when your senior advisors are freaking out about bad news coverage, cutting Social Security and Medicare, banning abortion and violent rhetoric, and openly admitting your candidate is letting crazies into your inner circle? And as we've been showing you here on the MeidasTouch Network, Donald Trump begins every one of his speeches by not playing the national anthem. Donald Trump has done his own version of the national anthem, which he calls the J6th anthem, which he sings with the insurrectionists who he calls hostages. Here, play this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
Well, thank you very much. And you see the spirit from the hostages, and that's what they are, as hostages. They've been treated terribly and very unfairly, and you know that, and everybody knows that. And we're going to be working on that soon as the first day we get into office. We're going to save our country, and we're going to work with the people to treat those unbelievable patriots, and they were unbelievable patriots and are. You see the spirit, just cheering, they're cheering while they're doing that, and they did that in prison, and it's a disgrace in my opinion.
And as Donald Trump is doing things like that, here's what President Biden is doing. Play the clip.
Look, the bottom line is, when you think about it, all of us in this room have one fundamental difference between us and Trump. I mean it sincerely. We have a different value set. It gets, to me, you know, I've been campaigning around the country and been in this job for 3 years, and it's, you know, it makes it, the more I thought about it, it's just fundamentally different. You mentioned vets. Well, you know, This is a guy who said when he wouldn't go up to visit a cemetery of veterans that they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was one of those losers and suckers. You know, it's just, I've never heard a president say the things that this guy has said. But the difference is he means them. He means what he says. With your help, we got elected the first time around. And this county and this state is really, really, really critical.
So, folks, Donald Trump has no cash to post a bond. He's whining about that all day. Donald Trump's campaign has very little cash. The RNC has very little cash. You've got Kimberly Guilfoyle trying to raise money in the way that you saw. You've got people like Siggy Flicker and Alina Habba running around Mar-a-Lago. Meanwhile, you have President Biden actually talking about issues that matter to the American people, from education to protecting Social Security to lowering healthcare costs to protecting our veterans, to taking care of our seniors and protecting our seniors. You name it, Biden's talking about these kitchen table issues, and Donald Trump, meanwhile, is, I guess, hanging out with Siggy Flicker. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Have a wonderful day.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the MeidasTouch Network. The film Against All Enemies, which I co-produced with Ben Meiselas and this network, has won awards around the world for its up-close portrayal of America's insurrectionist movement. It premieres in the U.S. on March 29th on Amazon and Apple TV. Go to againstallenemiesfilm.com or click the link below. But don't just watch Against All Enemies. Tell your friends about it. It's one more way to hold accountable those who threaten our democracy. Thanks, Midas Mighty. Let's use our power well.